They think the man who talks loudest wins. They believe the roar is proof of the lion's strength. They confuse sound for substance, mistaking volume for power. In their world, the first to raise his voice is the first to claim the field. But in the true game of power, the loudest is rarely the strongest. He is often the one most desperate to be heard. Desperation leaks through the cracks no matter how sharp the tone. Watch closely in any meeting, in any standoff, in any negotiation. The man who remains calm holds the unseen high ground. He does not fight for attention. Attention drifts toward him naturally. His presence commands, without demand. This is Machiavelli's cold law of mental power. The still mind dominates the storm. Calm is not a sign of absence, it is a sign of mastery. It is the weight of a blade before it falls. It is the tension of a bow before release. A man who moves slowly when others rush holds a deeper weapon. He is not controlled by the chaos, he shapes it. He does not rush to fill silence, he lets silence work for him. In that silence, others reveal themselves. They show their fears, their limits, their tells. The calm man sees more than the loud man hears. And because he sees more, he acts with precision. He chooses when to enter the fight and when to let the fight destroy itself. The world will mistake his patience for weakness. That mistake is his advantage. They will underestimate him until it is too late. Calm is the shield that hides the sword. It keeps enemies guessing and allies steady. It turns panic into opportunity. It bends the flow of the moment until the battlefield tilts in his favor. The cold law of calm is not to match their noise. It is to outlast it. Because storms pass, and when they do, the calm man is still standing ready to claim what's left. The world is filled with men who mistake noise for dominance. They think that raising their voice will raise their status. They pound the table, point fingers, and interrupt as if volume alone will bend reality. But the truth is colder. Noise is often camouflage. It is the armor of the insecure. It covers the cracks in their confidence like paint over rotting wood. If you strip away the shouting, there is often very little beneath it. Loudness burns energy fast, it cannot be sustained. A man who shouts burns himself out long before the battle is done. And when his voice breaks, his authority breaks with it. True strength doesn't need to announce itself. It is visible in the stillness of the eyes, the steadiness of the hands, the certainty of movement. Loudness can force attention, but it cannot hold it. People may look at the noise, but they remember the man who stayed composed. The quiet leader becomes the anchor in the storm. His restraint creates space for others to listen, think, and follow. The loud man cannot listen, he is too busy defending his noise. The quiet man listens first, then moves with precision. In war, the general who shouts orders from panic leads his men to ruin. The one who speaks only when necessary guides them to victory. Noise attracts, but it also exposes. When you shout, you give away your position. When you rage, you reveal your weakness. Control means choosing when to reveal your strength. Loudness is reactive, calmness is deliberate. Anyone can raise their voice. Only the disciplined can lower it at will. The loud man believes he is feared. In truth, he is merely endured. When the noise fades, respect fades with it. The calm man may not dominate the first moment, but he owns the last one. And in life, the last moment is the one that matters. Silence is the hardest weapon to master because it demands control over the self. It is not just the absence of sound, it is the presence of intent. When you stay silent, you create space, and in that space, truth leaks out. Most men cannot stand silence. It makes them anxious. It forces them to reveal more than they planned. The one who controls silence controls the flow of the conversation. Words are like arrows once released. They cannot return. The man who speaks less fires. Fewer arrows, but each one hits. Silence forces others to guess at your thoughts. That uncertainty is power. It makes them adjust their strategy without you moving a finger in a negotiation. The one who fills the silence often concedes more. In conflict, silence can make an opponent doubt themselves. It can turn their confidence into hesitation. When you master silence, you master perception. People will lean in, watch you more closely, try to read your every move. They will project their fears, hopes, and assumptions onto your stillness. and you can use all of it. But silence is not for the weak. If you are silent because you fear speaking, you have already lost. Silence must be chosen, not forced upon you. It must be backed by the ability to speak with precision when the moment comes. Like a sword kept sheathed until the perfect strike, silence builds anticipation. Every second it lasts, the tension grows. And when you finally speak, the impact doubles. True leaders know when to talk and when to hold. They understand that presence is felt, not shouted. Silence teaches you patience. It sharpens your awareness. It keeps you unpredictable. Master it, and you will never again have to compete for attention, because attention will already be yours. Power demands the ability to detach from the storm inside you. Emotional detachment is not about feeling nothing, it is about not letting feelings dictate action. Most men are slaves to their emotions. They lash out when angry, retreat when afraid, and boast when insecure. Each reaction is a chain the world can pull. Detachment is the act of breaking that chain. It is stepping back from the heat of the moment to see the entire battlefield. When you detach, you see moves others miss. You stop reacting and start directing. The angry man loses his aim. The fearful man loses his ground. The detached man loses nothing. This is not coldness, it is clarity. You can still feel anger, fear, or desire, but you decide when, how, and if to act on them. Your emotions become tools instead of masters. In a fight, detachment keeps your strikes precise. In a meeting, it keeps your voice steady while others crumble. In life, it lets you walk away from what would have trapped you before. Detachment protects you from manipulation. If no one can predict your reactions, no one can control you. It also frees you from the need for validation. You act because it is right, not because you crave applause. The discipline to detach is built over time. It comes from training your mind to pause before it moves, to observe without rushing to judgment, to understand before deciding. Most will never learn it. They will live at the mercy of their moods and the moods of others. But those who do master it will stand apart. They will lead without shouting, fight without rage, and win without gloating. Because emotional detachment is not just a skill, it is a shield, and those who carry it become untouchable.